I'll figure it out as we go along. I'm gonna keep my shoes on though. That feels comfortable. My house shoes. I don't know what they look like.
Raggedy ass house slippers on.
They're not raggedy. They're not raggedy.
Them
And
raggedy.
I don't. No, they're not. And I don't think the camera's gonna pick it up anyway.
What did Putty say to Elaine about her slippers?
About her slippers.
Yeah, because whenever that germaphobe episode when he was talking about when Kramer cleaned up, made the food in the shower.
Yeah.
And
I don't remember that.
and the woman that Elaine worked with was a germaphobe.
Yes.
And then she was talking to Putty, and Putty was like, "Yeah, I can understand about Elaine because she has these slippers in the house." Yeah, I thought of you with the.
Now I know. No, it is
slippers.
not like that. These, oh my God, I don't know. These slippers are so comfortable. I wash them.
They look like
I throw them in the wash.
They look like they marinated in germs.
You're probably right. You're probably right.
Whatever.
I got socks on right now, so I
Look
can't really
at
feel.
my feet. Maybe I'll feel something.
Yeah, let's talk about them feet.
Oh, my feet. My feet are
We
from
gotta
that.
go get some pedicures.
My feet are straight
You know
from
what?
the African jungle feet.
You know what I have in my Amazon wish list?
What's that?
It's a foot. It's a spa thing for the feet because I have this whole thing ready to give you a pedicure. And you're gonna have an at-home spa treatment with your feet, and I am going to be your attendant.
It ain't gonna help my feet, y'all. Never.
It will. I got the paraffin bath coming, where you dip your feet in wax.
Okay.
And I'm gonna scrub the feet. I'm gonna do it.
Hey, listen, I ain't gonna. I'm not
and
gonna
your feet
stop
are gonna
you.
feel so good. I'm
gonna
looking
stop
forward
you.
to it. It's in my Amazon wish list. Everything is there. I just gotta put it in the basket.
All right, I'm with it. Welcome back to the Perceived Value Life podcast episode.
Hey y'all. Hey.
What episode is this? 6?
6.
Episode 6. What up?
Hi.
What up?
Hello.
All right, episode 6. We talking about the world is a stage, but what's up with what's going on? You showed me something this morning, which I thought was crazy. What was
that?
The Smurf boots.
Oh.
What's going on?
Let me watch. Hold on. I got to watch this again just so I can just see what's going on here. I think it was Sierra.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, some Smurf boots. And I'm just like, what is this?
What's going on?
What's
Well,
going
you showed me.
And then somebody put a post on Facebook saying, don't y'all go out here buying these Gucci Smurf boots.
People going to buy them.
Oh my goodness
Gucci,
gracious! Oh
Louis
my
Vuitton,
goodness! Or whoever.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
When you showed me that image, I was like, wow.
I'm like, okay, so are they house shoes or are you wearing these shoes out? Like, what's the material? Is it rubber? Is it?
When you showed me,
cloth?
I put it on YouTube and took a look and Googled them, and it looks like they're I don't know, kind of like the UGG material, I guess.
Oh.
Like UGG type of material. As far as they kind of look like your slippers.
These nasty ass slippers.
They look crazy, but then other people, I guess, are wearing them. So I guess it might be a thing. And you showed me a post of Timberland.
I think it was some Timberland boots or something like that. And I'm just like, how far is this thing gonna go?
I don't know, but ain't gonna be none in this house.
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
I don't think no Smurf boots for me.
Oh man. But yeah, it's wild. So we thought that was weird. But I guess if a celebrity wears something, there's always a chance that it could blow and be something. So
set it off.
You know. But at least if it looks good, I'm not mad if it looks good, but they look weird.
And here's make some money opportunity.
Yeah, it's a money opportunity because somebody's gonna buy it. And
somebody's gonna buy it. Make some money opportunity. Make your style, your brand. I mean, maybe.
But if you're a grown man, if you're a GAM, a grown ass man,
you ain't.
Smurf boots.
Hold on a minute. I'm trying to picture it in my head.
Picture who?
You.
It ain't happening. I wouldn't even wear them just to play around. I'm not wearing no Smurf boots.
Oh my God.
Not to go to the mailbox.
Oh my God.
Not even to the mailbox.
The vision that I had in my head was hilarious. Oh
No.
God. If I can somehow draw that somewhere and get the Smurf boots on your body, like in a picture,
Never.
I'm going to do that.
Never, ever. Okay. So
it just goes back to that perceived value life.
that perceived value life of buying stuff because it has some value based on what you feel it does. So that's cool. That's all right. All right. So Smurf boots, not happening. So so what are we talking about today? What the world is is that what you were saying earlier? The world is a stage.
Oh man, the world is a stage.
What do you mean? What is the world? The world is a stage. That's really interesting.
It's just like you can go out there. So the world is a stage. Like you just on the stage. You can be whoever you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
You can do what you want to do, and it's just like you can be yourself. You can not be yourself, and it's just like you just. I don't know. Is it all an act?
When you first start making friends, you're like, you're kind of. I think you're kind of aware of the friends you're making and how you fit in with the friends you make, and you kind of may judge how you act based on who you hang around. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Or people may be like, I think we're all followers, and then we have people who follow us. You know what I mean? We're all influenced by other people.
Yes.
And people influence us.
Yes.
From a kid.
Oh, yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So maybe that's kind of where the stage starts, because you really don't know how you're supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're developing
I think that's the whole point of life, is for you to just find yourself and
right.
Find out how influential you can be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty dope.
Yeah. And like what's your true self?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because people always, I think you know who your true self is, but there's so many different stages of life. You're like, you're figuring that out. I think you're peeling back layers of who you actually are as you go through life and you learn and have experiences and stuff like that. Yes. So
life is like an onion.
Yeah.
You peel back those layers.
And
you get to the core. Mm-hmm. And that's your true self.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That's so deep.
It never stops. But I remember back to different little incidents, different times as a child that I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm like, wow. Like one funny time, I always laugh at myself about this. So I'm like 13, right? And I'm pretty, I would say for a 13-year-old, fairly street smart, but I'm not in the streets. I'm 13. So anyway, around that time, the Chronic, Dr. Dre Chronic was out. Mm-hmm. So there's this line, and I think in the song "Let Me Ride," he's like, something bumping like a mother, about to get my serve on. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Mm-hmm. So I remember one day I'm on the school bus. And I'm talking to this kid, and I'm like trying to sound cool. So we're just talking, and I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'm ready to get my serve on." and he's like, "You be doing that?" I was like, "What?" Like selling drugs. I'm like, "Nah, man." And the way he looked at me, that puzzled look. And he looked at me so puzzled. He's like, "What are you talking about?" But it's like at the end of the day, you're a kid. You're a kid. You really don't know, but you're saying something that you think is cool,
right? And
it's like certain things you just try to be. You're just trying to be cool, and you just like. I'm sure you have a time where it's like I'm acting either cooler than what I am. We all do it. Act as cooler or smarter or whatever it is. Something you're just stretching.
It was all in high school. I'm sure all of that happened in high school. Trust me. Like I was trying to be. Okay, so you were wearing some pleated a pleated skirt that had like plaid on it, right? And it was pleated. And then I think the look was having like these thigh highs that just stopped like right above the knee. I think this was in the girl in Clueless. One of the girls had wore like these white stockings that stop above the knee.
Oh yeah, I remember Clueless.
And that's not how I would typically dress,
Oh.
like at all. But one day I said, you know what? I'm gonna dress like that because I thought it was fashionable, and I think maybe it was fashionable at the time. And my mom would look at me, she'd be like, "Oh, you look nice." And when I went to school that day, I went in there knowing that I was the shit.
You was the Stacey Dash.
I was the Stacey Dash
of
this school, okay? And I got a lot of compliments that day.
Okay.
From the people who I perceived as popular and
popular.
and their opinion meant something.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Well,
I could say that was probably a little outside of who
like
I
dressing outside.
Yeah,
of-
dressing outside of who I was at that time.
Oh, high school was a mess.
So
High
that
school
was an
high school
interesting
was a time of
experiment.
fronting, right?
Everything's an experiment. It's
Yo.
just like
Listen, don't even high school fashion. Don't even. Oh my god.
I
Oh
liked
my
high
god.
school fashion for girls at our time.
I liked high school. High school fashion was cool, but
Yeah.
whoa, when I think back, oh my god, please don't find pictures of me from high school because I was like dressing all types of different ways. Like I was dressing like a California gang banger. I was having khaki suits on, and oh man, I was wearing khakis because at that time, Menace to Society was out and all this stuff, and we was all, but I speak for myself.
Right.
A lot of my peers, we were heavily influenced by the fashion. So khaki suits came out. Well, they didn't come out, but they were something new for me
Yeah.
and other people I knew when we started rocking khaki suits and oh my god, the flannel shirts and but in high school you're trying to figure out who you are, and then you're trying to like also see where you fit in. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
Yeah. So that's like one stage of life.
that's definitely
Like
a big
yeah,
stage
that's
of
a
like
big
figuring
stage. Yeah.
out who you are.
Yeah.
Because probably high school is the time where it's like you really trying to, you're really most
See where you're-
influenced, I guess.
I would say, yeah, most influence. Yeah, I would definitely say so.
And then you do some stupid stuff and you dress some crazy ways and you're really like that's really the stage, yo. Really the stage.
That is the stage, man. I think you yeah, it's like that's the pivotal, the stage.
Yeah.
That's the very top of the stage.
Yeah.
And
Well-
then from there, it just kind of, goes up and down, but not major.
Not major.
Not a major stage.
Unless you're lost and you're an adult and you're lost, but
Well, yeah.
but it happens. It happens, like you said, in more, I guess, calmer, subtle ways.
Yeah.
As you get older, but I think we're all conscious of what we do. Like, for instance, like we were talking about who's the senator you were talking about?
Oh, that guy. Where's my phone?
Because
He's a state representative, actually. New York State Representative
He's from New
Santos.
York.
Santos.
Well, a stunning admission today from Republican Congressman-elect George Santos. In an interview with the New York Post, Santos confessed he lied about his family background, college, and employment history during his campaign. He said he's, quote, embarrassed and sorry, but does not plan to step down. The confession comes days after reports refuting he went to elite universities and worked at prestigious Wall Street firms.
He was elected in November to represent New York's 3rd Congressional District, and he claimed to have earned degrees from, I think it's Baruch College and New York University in New York City, but school officials told the New York Times they had no records of him graduating.
he was
And
like,
the lawmaker, so I guess he is in law somewhere,
okay.
later told the New York Post he hadn't earned the degrees at all.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. I mean, it's interesting because he may still be good at what he does, but it's just
Right.
that lying about your credentials it kind of go back to this fact of you want to show like who you think people think you are. You know what I mean? And like the guy, one of my favorite movies, Catch Me If You Can. Frank Abagnale was the name of the guy. I mean, this guy, man, it's impressive. It's impressive. Talk about. I mean, he was a con man, but different level though. And the kid started when he was young. Yeah, I don't think he was like 16 or 17 when he started. So
Oh, wow.
he faked being a pilot.
That's
He
wild.
didn't fly the planes though. He didn't fly the plane, but he did fake being a pilot. What he would do is he would this was in the 60s, so I think he would catch what you call the jump seat. So he faked being a pilot. So what he would do is I think he was like catching like a jump seat, like where I guess a pilot can catch another pilot's ride
Okay.
to go to another destination.
Yeah.
To take his job wherever he's supposed to be flying out
Right,
from. So he's
right,
basically
right.
hitching a ride.
Right.
But he faked being a pilot, and then he faked I want to say he faked being a lawyer too. And I think he may have passed the bar. But he did
Wow.
fake being a lawyer and a couple of other things.
Sounds
But
like a genius.
yeah. I mean, he ended up the whole story was like he ended up, doing all this stuff, and then he ended up eventually getting caught. He was really enamored with how people could perceive him to be. So he was good at being like, yo, I'm gonna be this person and
Deceiving
be
people.
believable.
Yeah.
And be believable at it. So
Wow.
but that's really the thing is that, when you have that, we all are on the stage every day. You know what I'm saying? And how we want to be perceived is I think is a lot of times on our mind.
And sometimes that just switches depending upon where you are. You know what I'm saying? It could be, how you want to be perceived with your mate, or just, out in public or at work. So yeah.
Does that make us phony?
For some people, maybe if they feel like they have to, like, be outside who they would typically be, and they have to portray and have to pretend, then yeah, that I would call that phony. And I think a lot of us are struggling with that, every day, just putting who you are forward and being being able to receive that, I guess, within yourself. And just be you. It's hard to just be you because
People say it all the time, but
people say it all the time, but it's harder to be you. It's hard to be you sometimes.
Right,
Feel
right.
pressures, from
Right.
all over the place. And I think, well, for me, I know yoga has helped so much in me just putting who I am out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Love me, hate me. I'm okay with me.
Yeah. That's what's up. That's how it should be.
You got to work on that every day. I think yoga just helps me to get there.
I think it's very honest, the combo we having, because a lot of times everybody's like, yo, I'm me everywhere, I'm me, and I don't have any problems being myself, and everybody tells everybody else to be yourself, and we tell our kids that and all of that stuff, but it could be phony, it could be perceived as phony, but I think everybody is navigating who they should be.
Yeah.
And you rarely see people who are the same way all the time.
Yeah.
The only time you see that
Is when
there's two
I
types
feel
of
like
people.
there's a buildup.
There's two types of people in this world who don't give a what you think about them. It's a two, maybe one, but I'll say two. Really, really rich people don't give a damn what you think most of the time.
Okay.
And depending on how rich they are and what position they are.
I was about to say, because they still need the people.
100%.
They still need the people, so they got to be able to relate to the people.
First, but I say who don't care, Old people.
Oh, they definitely don't care.
Old people don't care. When you get old, you don't care what nobody. You yourself.
I can't wait
You deal with old
to
people.
not give a damn.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you deal with old people.
I deal with old people, and those are my people.
Yeah.
Those are
But
my
they're
people.
true.
My senior
The
population.
senior
Love you.
population.
Love you. Yeah.
And not in a bad way. The senior population. What have you noticed in the senior population?
Oh, they just real. They just honest. They just like, I don't want this, but I'm being forced to do this. Like,
and show the folks so they understand what you do.
So I'm an occupational therapist. I do home therapy, and yeah, I've been working with the senior population for the last 16 years. You know, that's just always from the very start of my OT career or whatever.
With old folks.
I was wanting to work with my senior population, and they just, you know, sometimes they just want to be heard.
Yeah.
They just want to be heard, you know. So I take a lot of time and I talk to them and I get to know them. Like, that's who I am.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
that.
Well, even at our age, middle age.
Yeah.
Even in middle age, I think socially you've gone through enough things where you kind of like you're more comfortable in conversations with different. Because I think the interesting thing is that as we go through life, you end up in different circles. You know what I'm saying? And I think that, you know, and it doesn't apply to everybody, but a lot of times when you're younger, you know, you get in this circle, you kind of act this way. You get in that circle, you kind of try to act that way. You kind of try to acquiesce to what you're around and try to kind of be what you're around.
Yeah.
And I think that's normal because it's part of human interaction. We all want to have something in common. We want to. You get around people, and unless they're like, if you get around people and your stance is over here and their stance is way over there, you're like, yo, I don't need to be around these people.
Right.
But it might be something that someone else talks about or into, or something that's not way out there, but you're not quite into it, but you're like, almost want to be. That's I think that's human nature.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
you kind of want to bond like that. So it
Yeah.
kind of makes us be like, oh, okay, cool. That's what y'all do, or that's what you do, and you want to try to have a conversation.
You know
do
what?
that.
It's so funny that you say that, because there's this experiment where, I don't know if this was in New York or where it was, but they had a bubble pit, you know, with all the balls in there, the ball pit.
Right.
They had a ball pit.
Okay.
And two people just sit in there. So one person would just sit in there and wait for somebody else to sit in there with them. Some total stranger they don't know, and they just start talking and conversing. And then through the conversation, they find out things that they had in common.
Okay.
So that was just a nice experiment, as to say, like, we all on some level want to have something in common with each other.
Yeah, definitely.
You know,
was it like bubbles? You mean like
It was a ball pit, no, not a bubble bath.
Like, I'm not getting it.
In the middle of Times
I was like, I'm not getting in no wet water. It's New York. It's New York. You never know what's gonna happen in New York. Just get in there and just get your clothes wet and sit down like weirdos.
Nasty ass bathtub.
Okay, so they were just sitting in the ball. So it was just two people.
It was a ball pit. A
Okay.
ball pit. You know what a ball
yeah,
pit is.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it was a big enough ball pit for two people to sit.
Just two people.
Just two people. So then once
okay.
that person sat down with you, you had to figure out what you had in common. Oh, I like this, you know, so you talk a little bit about yourself. And then some people just find out they were born in the same town that their friend is now living. I mean, they just find out a lot of things about each other that you're running into strangers every day, all day.
Right.
I think that experiment was saying that we all have something in common.
Okay. Early on, when I was going to a lot of music events and stuff like that, I mean, networking is everything.
Yeah.
And just being honest, I always had a hard time working the room, you know. And, you know, most people won't admit that. A lot of people are like, yeah, you know, I talk to everybody. And some people do. And I really admire people. I can do it now.
Yeah.
But I admire people when I was younger who could work a room. Because I typically just wasn't comfortable. Not so much that I felt insecure, but I just hate awkward conversations. I hated awkward conversations, and I feel like those are the times where the stage is real. So Be yourself, do you, be happy. Thanks again for tuning in to Perceived Value Life Podcast. And we will see you all again on the next episode.
Yes, we'll see you guys soon.